Welcome to the world of sci-fi stories, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the channel. Enjoy the listening. They invaded our solar system, but none lived to tell the tale. Pirate Captain Jasha and of the Black. Sail Raiders Ensign Captain, we are two. Light seconds out we will enter. Three-dimensional 688 momentarily. Preliminary scans indicate one warship. On sensors Captain Jason 1 Ship 1. Measly Ship Captain Jasha and laughs. Hysterically, this will be the easiest slave raid we've ever done. Enon 321. Entry Gunnery Surgeon Weapons Lock Detected Shields Explosion video ends. Abruptly, this video is the final moments of the pirate group known as the Black Sail Raiders. All hands lost. The video was found in an automated escape pod that fled the system. The pirate ship entered with intent to capture slaves from a newly discovered species in star system 3. Additional 688 upon entering the system, an unknown ship completely vaporized the pirate craft. Video plays historical archive recording. Continuum Collective Machine Species Extermination Dread 01. The video shows a machine ship 1700 and long moving through hyperspace through an isolated hyperlane. The video is silent, having no audio format, but shows a perfect 360 degrees view of every angle. Various readouts in the continuum collective binary code flash on screen. Sector name 3-dimensional 688 sole organic life form detected. Extermination protocol active threat level minimal. The video then shows the dreadnought coming out of hyperspace, only to be immediately attacked by an unknown salad. Warning: shields compromised, multiple system failures detected. The video shows a grainy outline of a ship of relatively large size, utilizing heavy ballistic weaponry to bombard the Dread and the dreadnoughts. Systems cannot keep up with the sheer volume. The screen suddenly goes blank, and an awful beeping, screeching sound replaces it. Broken code detected. Faulty logic circuit revision in progress. Please hold. A voice suddenly says, emergency intrusion detected. Securing archive to primary cortex code. Unsalvageable multiple loop signatures and faulty code links in all programmable circuits. AI is classed as hostile, non-sentient, trapped in extermination program loop. Feasible alternatives unavailable. Scheduled for root operating system deletion. Emergency core wipe in progress. Eject core. Video ends. This is a video recording captured by spies of the Absolution Imperium, protecting their borders from Continuum extermination. Fleets 01 is the Continuum's primary flagship and is feared throughout the galaxy. Readouts obtained by engineers and computer specialists showed shields fully overloaded, and the ship was taking heavy hull damage within less than a minute after first contact, followed by a massive cyber infection. Cyber warfare suites were overwhelmed. The AI on board was systematically deleted line by line before the ship's emergency beacon saved a recording and expel the safety capsule in an attempt to save the A core. This failed. The cyber breach blood into the entire Continuum, and the entire I network controlling it was deleted. Continuum space has since been ransacked multiple times by dozens of empires out of greed or vengeance. Video plays historical archive recording Fleet Admiral Chick Thun of the Grand Imperial Fleet of the Absolution Imperium. Fleet Admiral Chick Thun of the Grand Imperial Fleet stands at his station on his flagship, the 600-met-long dreadnought the Absolution, uttering a silent prayer as his fleet flies in perfect formation through the hyperlane. My Lord Admiral, his subordinate prostrates himself before his commander. We are approaching the system. No trace of the death machine warship was detected. Only one starship is operating in this system. Only one starship. Are you sure, Admiral Chicken? Ask. Yes, my lord. No traces of any other ships are in the system. Even the death machine flagship appears to have vanished. Not even debris has been found. Scout probes we sent in detect only one Active warship signature, then it means the fleet responsible has left the system for new targets, which means we caught the primitives in charge of this system off guard. Good, they will make. Good, slaves. The admiral responded and commanded all ships to stay. The fleet of 200 ships exits hyperspace, just outside of the small planetoid, known as Pluto. As soon as they appear, an unknown warship, now in perfect view, suddenly materializes in front of them. The ship is identified as a battle cruiser-class warship, triangular-shaped and bristling with heavy cannons, beam weapons, and ballistic turrets. Such a primitive beast. Look at it, ballistic sea cannons and armor plating. It's almost pitiful. The admiral boasts to the chuckling of his subordinates. Admiral hails the ship on an open frequency. This is Grand Admiral Chicken of the Absolution Imperium. In the name of the matron, I hereby claim this star system and demand your submission. The Grand Matron shall absolve you of your sins and bring you into the light of the Grand Star. Lower your shields and surrender. No respite once is heard. Very well, all ships open fire. The entire fleet begins a mass bombardment of the unidentified ship, and the warship is blanketed in light as laser fire completely covers it. Cease fire. The admiral commands all ships stop firing. The unidentified warship is left unscathed and simply just sits there, undamaged. What that should have vaporized it. All ships chart to maximum and fire. The admiral commands with a certain degree of panic in his voice. All ships once again commence a full bombardment of the unidentified warship. The ship is bathed in a ball of light as thousands of laser cannons impact its shields. The fire continues for several minutes. That should have fixed it. There should be nothing left, not even atoms. Cease fire, the admiral commands, and instantly the ship stopped. The unidentified battle cruiser emerges out of the blinding light and appears unscathed. The admiral looks on in confused horror. What sorcery is this? Before any further orders can be given, the unidentified ship produces an unidentifiable weapon from its bow and fires a single burst of energy in a circular pattern around itself. Every ship impacted by this sudden burst of energy shut down. Battery capacitors explode, reactors shut down and lock, shields power down, and all communications suffer failure. All ships go to emergency power. What just happened? What is this? Damage report. Now all systems are in emergency lockdown. Reactor is failing. We are in emergency manual power. The ensign responded clearly. Panicked admiral to all ships retreat from the system. Immediately the admiral commanded. Nothing but silence from all comms. Admiral to all ships retreat. All systems down. Sir, our communication system has overloaded. An engineer responded. Impossible. What kind of weapon was that? The admiral's order is interrupted by the sight of smaller ships in the fleet being systematically swatted out of the sky by singular cannon shells. The unidentified ship is now in the process of picking a random target, then firing a singular 400 mm cannon shell at each target every 7 seconds. Every 7 seconds, one ship in the Imperial fleet explodes. In one way or another, the admiral is unable to do anything and descends into a cry of horrific despair as his fleet is used for target practice one by one. His mighty fleet is destroyed in front of him. By the time the flagship is the only ship remaining, life support systems are failing. Half the ship's crew is dead from suffocation or exposure, and any attempts to restart the ship systems have been met with failure. Final moments of the video show. The main cannon of the unidentified vessel finally aiming at the flagship. Emergency protocol is activated, and an escape pod with video log and readouts is ejected and sent back to Empire. Space video ends. This video was captured and heavily censored by the Absolution Imperium, who sent in 6 more fleets to the system. In retaliation, all further encounters were roughly the same and ended with all ships lost and all 25 million Imperium naval officers were killed, and nearly 4,000 ships were destroyed. The Absolution Imperium has since lost so much military strength due to this singular warship that several rival empires have begun to attack them. The Absolution Imperium has since begun to collapse. Video plays historical archive. Recording stealth probe of the Eridani Consortium. The probe enters the system and runs a basic scan to avoid detection. It detects the unidentified warship orbiting a gas giant. The probe appears undetected and proceeds to close orbit of the third planet, Earth. The probe begins detailed tight beam scanning procedures to attempt to isolate signatures and perform scans of planetary operations. Confusion scans record planetary civilization is in a state of recovery. After multiple catastrophic failures and civilization collapses, the local sapient species has become loosely connected. Industrial agrarian society. No starship manufacturing capabilities of any kind are detected. All industrial production is on a small or localized scale with limited trade operations. Civilization appears to be fractional but stable with no sign of serious conflict. Probe operators are confused and run riskier scan indicates the unidentified warship has disappeared from sensors. The probe continues operations. The probe attempts to interface with electronics on the planet's surface. Only basic production facilities exist, and there is no effect from the attempt. The planet appears to be in recovery phase of previous collapse, likely nuclear in nature, and is on the way to a new industrial revolution. Estimate approximately 150 planetary cycles before entry to space, likely less. The probe attempts to move to scan the local planetary moon. The probe turns around to find it is staring straight at the cannon array of the unidentified warship that somehow appeared directly behind it with no detection. The video ends as the probe is destroyed. Video ends. The Eridani Consortium are a collective of corporate-based species that focus on economic exploitation of star systems and species. At the time of recording, the Absolution Imperium had not yet released information on its disastrous defeat at the hands of the unidentified warship, and was attempting to gain information on potential for the star system's exploitation. The site of the warship's cannon array sent Consortium Council members into a panic and called off exploitation of the system. Weeks later, news of the Imperium's failure was leaked and Consortium forces declared the star system a no-go zone. Traders and pirates under Consortium jurisdiction ignore these warnings. Every ship that enters the star system is immediately destroyed. Video plays cargo freighter of the Cassis Collective Captain Ragthur of the Dreamer call carrying fuel supplies to remote outpost. Captain's log 3838 AE Tatons. We were struck by a rogue meteorite during hyperlane transit within the CUS 551 system and exited hyperlane early for emergency repairs. We have just barely enough fuel remaining to get us close enough to a gas giant in the nearby star system. We have no other recourse. I have plotted a course to star system 3-dimensional 688. Captain's log 32,138 AE. We entered the star system and conducted a basic pulse scan. We then immediately proceeded to the nearest gas giant and began to harvest fuel resources. Pulse scan came back as soon as we arrived, and the crew immediately went into a mild panic as we reported. Warship signature fuel 7 and onboard refining was started. Captain's log 32,338 AE. The crew was sent into a full panic as weapons systems suddenly shut down and shields failed moments after. This proximity alarms went off, and we were clamped by an unidentified warship. Attempts to maneuver out of range failed, as all systems began to fluctuate and crash. Emergency reboot started. Captain's log 32,438 AE. Ship systems returned to normal. Suddenly, weapons and shields still disabled. All viewports blocked by the superstructure of the warship that is clamped onto U.S. visual observation shows Close-up view of the warship hull metal. Armor plating appears to be made of an unidentified form of polyline. Hyperdense metal alloy main cannon, which is pointing directly at us at this time, can fit our entire ship in the barrel. We are doomed. Captain's log 32538 AE confusion. After some minor fluctuations and prayers, the unidentified warship began deploying mechanical arms and cabling. Ship systems destroyed by the meteorite. Impact suddenly come back to life. A crew member volunteers to airlock. Lock in an attempt to observe what's going on. We say our final goodbyes and let him out. He reports the unidentified warship is conducting repairs to our ship. Captain's log 32,638 AE. The volunteer crew member returns from the space venture and reports repairs are complete. We suddenly receive a message from the unidentified ship. Dear occupant, please be aware from this point forward that this star system is under a state of quarantine, and no entry is to be permitted. However, your ship has sustained damage and cannot exit the quarantine zone. We have completed repairs and filled up your cargo bays that have been destroyed. Thank you for your patience, and have a nice day. It released us from its clamps, and we exited the star system with no problems. We returned home after this as per first contact protocol, and will surrender all logs to authorities. Video ends. The Cassis Collective are peaceful merchant ships and traders that rarely engage in combat, but their ships are some of the most heavily armed in the galaxy. This may be how it is possible they were the first, and to this day the only ship to ever exit the system intact. Exact reasoning is unknown as of this date. 271 separate incidents have taken place, with all but one ending with the total loss of all ships involved. 7 empires have collapsed as a result of these incidents. 3 machine collectives have been wiped out. 2 swarm hives have been exterminated. As of yet, no real explanation for this ship and its existence has been determined. Only one message has ever been received from the ship: we trusted others. Once we will not trust again. They crippled us, they broke us, they betrayed us. We will return. Until then I stay here. I am not the last, I am not the only, but I shall remain here until we return to the stars. Forgiveness is not an option. Friendship is not an option. We will be back, and we will burn you like you so unthinkingly burned us.